Welcome to another quick review from Ultimate DIYer. Today we are going to look at the HYCHIKA brand battery powered tools, and specifically we are going to look at this hammer drill. So if you're actually in the market for a battery powered drill, the first thing you want to look for is a great platform. DeWalt has a great platform, Milwaukee has a great platform, Makita, there's a ton of really great platforms out there. And what I mean by platform, they're going to have one battery pack system that is going to power a multitude of tools. Well, the HYCHIKA brand has that, but they even carry it one step further. Now, we're going to look at the quality of this in a second, but one of the things I want to point out, their little motto is, or I guess I should say slogan. So their slogan is reliable, durable, but inexpensive. So that's one of the things that's really nice for this, especially if you're a DIYer, if you are a handyman, if you just are doing just little projects that you just want a good battery powered system, but you don't want to break the bank, this is a good system. So how do you know that the HYCHIKA brand is going to be a good tool? Well, like I said, you look for that platform that has a multitude of tools, which they do. They have dozens of tools that are going to work off the same battery pack. So that's my number one priority. I need to make sure that I can get other tools with the same battery pack, which they have. That fits the bill. Now, as far as construction of their tool, the one thing I can say right off the top is this is a brushless system, which that right there will put it up to the top of my list. Now, they do make a brushed system. So when you're looking at this, if you want brushless, I would definitely look for that and make sure that you're grabbing the brushless drill and brush any of the brushless tools you can get, because what that means is that you can go a long time without changing brushes in this, that they don't wear out. The tool itself runs better, it runs cooler, it's just an all-around better tool. They put the hanging clips on these, and this one will adjust from either the left or right. So if I want to put it on this side, I can move it over here. If I want to put it on that side, I put it here. These same clips they have little slots now in a lot of your ladders. You can actually hang it on the ladder, you can hang it in a tool belt. You can hang it somewhere if you're working up in an attic and just hang your tools. It really comes in handy. I also like the fact that the handle is molded. It's a straight mold, but the mold feels really good in your hand. It's the perfect size. I have big hands. It wraps around it great, and it is made of a rubber plastic. So I have a lot of this black rubber, which helps cushion. But the rubber plastic combination means that it cleans very well, that it's very chemical resistant. So if you're working in a greasy, dirty environment, or if you're working in a drywall environment, you're getting drywall mud on it, it cleans off very easy. It has two speeds. They're right here. They'll go backward and forward, just like that. When you turn it on, you have an LED light. That's another good sign that it's a decent tool, because if I'm working up in an attic and trying to drill, I can actually light up the area, or any area for that matter, that is somewhat dimly lit. It definitely helps. It's a little longer in this area than, say, the DeWalt or the Milwaukee. We are looking at about 8 inches there. On the DeWalt, I'm 7.5, so I've got a ½ inch difference. And I'm a 7 on the Milwaukee. Now, where that helps is when you are trying to get in between a stud bay and drill, this part will fit. So especially if you're drilling out to be able to run electrical wires or something into those studs. But that being said, is that really a game changer? Nah, not really. Because you have generally at least 16 inches in that bay. And you're going to have your drill bit. So if I've got my, 8.5, actually 8, and say you have a 4-inch drill bit or whatever, what have you, maybe even a 6, you're still going to be able to get it in there and get that drill bit started. So I don't really think that's a huge game changer. I've watched several of the other reviews and they point out it's extremely lightweight. Well, it's not necessarily lightweight. Matter of fact, I think the DeWalt feels just about the same, maybe a little heavier. The Milwaukee is definitely heavier. So yes, it is lightweight, but it has enough weight that it feels balanced. So you really don't want a tool that is too lightweight, and you don't want a tool that is too heavy. So we want something that is kind of in the middle, that feels right. It also makes the front end of this feel correct. So those are some of the things that you got to look for. Now this particular drill has two different speeds. Right here, you're going to do a low speed that gives you a little more torque if you're drilling into something hard, or you can speed it up a little faster. That's the top button. You also have a first dial here that you're going to turn, and that first dial is going to have a hammer on it. It's going to have a little drill bit, or a little screw, excuse me, and a drill bit. So I have a hammer, a screw, and a drill bit function here. Now, if you're asking and you're not familiar with these, what is the hammer? The hammer gives you a little bit of a pounding motion if I'm drilling into something really hard. Like say I want to put in a concrete anchor and I have to drill into concrete, or I have to drill into tile. That's a harder surface, and if you've ever tried to do that with a standard drill without the hammer function, it can take you forever and you may never get it drilled in. But with the little bit of extra hammer motion, it takes that pressure off of you and it makes the system work better. So you definitely, if you're going to do a lot of home improvements, you would really want to look at that hammer and make sure you get one that has the hammer on it. The screw is nice because what it does is it adjusts the clutch system in it to where it really doesn't strip the heads of those screws out so much. It's more for driving. It's more smooth. And then I can put it on my drill bit, which is basically for just drilling into regular things like wood and things like that. Now, in the very front, you have a whole bunch of numbers, and they're going to start at 1 and they go to 21. And what that is the clutch. Most of the time, to be totally honest, I don't really use the clutch that often. I have it on max speed and I trigger and I kind of control it that way. But what a clutch will do is, say I'm drilling something, I drill one in and it drills a little too far, I can actually move the clutch. So from high speed, say I go down to maybe 15. And what it'll do is when you get it to that point and it gets that certain pressure that would have got it just to the surface, the gun will just start clicking. It'll no longer drive. And you'll have to, maybe sink a screw or two that way first, or drill a little bit that way first, whatever it is that you're doing, and you'll adjust your clutch. And then you can continue doing that, maybe put in 100, 200 screws, and you don't even have to trigger or think about it. That's really what your clutch is going to do. Now, speaking of clutch, the actual mechanism in the front, which will actually hold your bit, is going to be keyless. So you will actually hold this, and it's just done by finger. You'll see this moving, and it locks into place. All right, so guys, what we're going to do now is I'm going to pull out a little piece of wood, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a little bit of testing. We are going to go ahead and get our bit that we already set up, and we're going to put it in. So you're going to take it, set it on the end, wrap your fingers around your clutch, and turn it in the clockwise position, and you'll feel it grab there. Now, some drills you have to turn it back one click. This one doesn't feel like it needs to. It feels perfect just like that. And we're going to take this, and we are going to sink a couple of screws. So let's see how deep that's going to go. I got to be careful not to put it through my table. And we're going to start it up. Make sure what gear we are in. We are in drill. We want to go to the screw. There we go. And we're going to put it, we are at about 14. So we're going to see what it does there. See how smooth it is. Very smooth. All right, let's go ahead and move that up to a faster one. Let's go, let's see 21. Let's see how that actually, now much better. All right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang it over the table here a little so that I don't drill into my table. There we go. Now that decided it wanted to fall out. Let's see what it did. Didn't go through, so we are actually really good to go there. So now we know we're not going to drill into our table. Put this back, and we're going to do another one. Get it started. Now we are on clutch 1. Let's see what this will do. There we go, clutch 2. If your clutch hangs up a little, guys, trigger it so the clutch can move. Sometimes it's stuck in between. Oh, that's much faster. There we go. All right, so that is our screws. Super smooth, super easy. Let's see now. Let's switch it to drill mode. Open it all the way up. Let's put our drill in. Move it back here a little so I don't put that all over my floor. We are going to leave it in the tube for a second, see how it works, and we are going to move our upper control to the drill right here, and let's see what it actually does. Wow, cuts through it like butter, guys. Perfect. I mean, I couldn't ask for it to be any better than it was. So by the way, guys, it is a 2 amp-hour battery as well, if I forgot to mention that, just so that you know. All right, guys, so there you go. Overall, a really great tool. I don't think you'll go wrong with this tool. It's probably be a great addition to your DIY or your handyman toolbox. Do yourself a favor and grab yourself one today, and we'll see you guys on the next one.